Hello, welcome to Powerflower Trays and Planes. It's 5 o'clock on a Sunday, and that usually for me means a live stream, but this week we did the stream on the Friday night. I wanted to watch the Wimbledon men's tennis final. So firstly, apologies that I won't be in the chat as this is premiering, but I thought I'd still do a video anyway, possibly two, but we'll see if I get time. So we are in the TPE 802. We're at Manchester Piccadilly, and let's get the train set up to begin with. So master key on. Get ourselves into forward. We aren't due off until 10:05, incidentally. So try and make sure we get all these done. Sometimes catches me out this, just getting the everything set up.
TPWS and AWS operational.
So that's an interesting sight. Straight away we've got, well, it's a 387 really, but it's representing the Transport for Wales 197. So that's a magnificent sight in its own right. So we're going to the airport today, and we're going to come back as far as Piccadilly again. This is a sort of a Glasgow to Manchester Airport service, and this is a scenario created by Carmen on the Creators Club website. So some great stuff on the Creators Club website, well worth a look. And some lovely reskins as well. One of them being the 801 reliveried into the Trans Pennine Express livery. Probably see it better on this side actually. Piccadilly looking busy as ever. We've got the climate change Pendolino just leaving the station. I mean, there's great variety in the pack as it comes out with, but it's great to see all this stuff going on. You've got a 323 arriving. I mean, Piccadilly itself in real life is a very, very busy station indeed anyway. We're due off at 10:05, so it's just time to watch all this stuff going on. And then you've got a tune that's coming off the Gloss of Hadfield line. You've got a conventional liveried Pendolino as well, another one over there. Another TPE liveried 802 as well.
If you require assistance,
So nice bit of frenetic activity before we get underway, which is always magnificent to see. Yeah, just checking that I did remember to open the doors. We should have ourselves on marker, I think. So 323 leaving us, and I presume again that's probably on a Glossop Hadfield service. So we are due away at 10:05. Waiting for the signal ahead of us to clear to green. There it is, so we should be good to go. So 20 miles an hour out of the station, and that's of course if we remember to lock the doors first of all. And it's good to see the display here, because although this is the LNER IET, it does work on other routes. So if you use the reskin on Great Western Express, you get the right locations on there as well. So great that they've done that, and I'd love to see an official model of this with the internal seats, because of course if we walk through the trains it kind of shatters the reality a little bit, because we'd have LNER seats on this particular unit. I've got a strong suspicion that we are going to see an IET in proper Great Western, an official authorised licensed version at some point, because we know that DTG have got the Great Western license back again. We just missed it, but we've got the Mayfield, the old Mayfield depot in the background, and I'm not sure if I think it did serve passenger trains of some description in the distant past, but of course disconnected now and in quite a state. Lovely to see Manchester in the distance as well, all the buildings, and it's an interesting time of the day as well, because this is sort of mid-morning, and you've got that golden sunshine glowing down onto the tracks. So we'll go up to 65 now. In reality, of course, and many of you will say this watching this video, but I think usually they are class 397 units, but I have seen 802s photographed in use on this service and videos, so I don't know how often it happens in reality, but it does happen occasionally. Go past Longside Depot. We'll start to get down to 45 mile an hour in preparation for the approach to the Manchester Airport branch, or the Style line at Slade Lane Junction. There's proper new catenary model as well for this route. And I think if you watch the excellent Don Coffey video, which covers Manchester Airport to Carlisle, then you do get a good feeling for just how real this route is. I mean, this is quite an interesting section as well, with all the sort of the residential housing represented. So we'll build up a little bit of speed, because we've got 75 mile an hour, although conscious we're on a downhill gradient as well. Did I just spy a neutral section there? And it's an interesting stretch of line, this Style line, which of course goes as far as Wilmslow, although we'll be taking the divert after Heel Green. But this was picked in the 1950s as a kind of a trial to start the West Coast Main Line electrification, and they thought, well, we'll use this line because it's not going to affect the traffic too much. This is Moldith Road, which is the Lady Barn area of Manchester, I do believe. Fairly quiet units to drive. Probably the noise you can hear the most on this video will be the fan whirring on my PC because it's very, very hot in the midst of that heat wave. Oh, here's another 802 again. And the idea is when we get to the airport, we'll take it back out again, and we'll take it back as far as Manchester Piccadilly. Clearly, supermarket there on the left. So after Moldith Road, Burnage, East Didsbury, Gatley, Heel Green. Not worth taking off that marker because when you do the outside view you always end up speeding. Yeah, if you're watching this sort of recorded and you're watching it in November or December or something when it's -5 outside, then talk of it being a heat wave and Wimbledon probably seems a bit strange. They've done a superb job, ATS, with representing this route and the stations and the scenery, the catenary, the whole shebang really. It's a lovely route, and I love the fact that it's not quite just A to B. You're not restricted. You have a bit of variety, and I mean there are some routes that you can kind of do it a couple of times. Or there's a plane coming into land overhead, which is a nice touch as well. You can see them at all sorts of places on this route. Even going through Heaton Chapel, you'll see a plane going overhead. There's another those pseudo 197s. Great idea there. Is I love the creativity of people that they've come up with the thought, the idea of something that just looks similar enough to make it feel like a good version of a real unit that isn't in the game. So we've got the AWS reminder for the 40, which indicates that we are approaching Heel Green. I'm not quite sure if that 323 has come off the airport branch or not. If it had come from Wilmslow, we could have been held by this signal potentially if we'd been a couple of minutes early, but if it was from the airport, then I think we would have been okay. don't know in reality how much turnaround time we would get at Manchester Airport, but if it's a lot longer than what we're going to allow, well, we'll just assume that we were running late. That's the other part of the triangle. That goes off to Alderley Edge and then, of course, ultimately to Crewe. Love this little section as well. And I find it absolutely extraordinary, really, that before... I mean, you bear in mind, we're less than a mile here from Manchester Airport Station. But until 1993, when the airport station was built and this branch was finished, you couldn't get a train directly to the airport. The nearest you could get was Heel Green, which, okay, obviously not far away, and I'm sure there's shuttle buses, but now you can get off the train, walk straight through to the Skywalk and walk into the terminal. So much more convenient. And I just find it amazing that it took until 1993 for it to be finally given the approval. I don't know whether there were plans in advance of that. Sometimes these schemes have been talked about for years. But it seems like an obvious thing to put in. I've been slightly premature with the 25 mile an hour restriction into the station, but we are again just going slightly downhill. Got a 323 on our left. I don't know if that's got the service ahead of us before we leave. It still feels a very, very modern station, this. Try and take a bit of care. I feel as though the last couple of streams I've made a point of hitting the buffer stops with trains, but we're okay here. So we'll lock the doors or unlock them. Now at this point we need to kind of prepare ourselves for the fact that we are going changing cabs and going the other way. So we'll put the get the tail lights set on. There we go. And I think what we need to do is to get the reverser into off. I'll perhaps be scrupulously accurate as well. I don't know whether we would actually do this or not in real life, but I don't know, probably getting a bit over the top with that. Hope it doesn't affect us being able to use it. We'll join the we'll join the train again in a second. Welcome to Manchester Airport. Lovely that they've done this terminal building in all the detail. Now I'm not going to go right up to the Skywalk and everything, but it's the whole thing's been really nicely done. It'd be great if you could actually have a better walk about the area. We need one of those mods that is on the Trade Sim community check site that occasionally unlocks some of these areas a little bit. You know, I find myself doing this. We'll go for a walkabout and then I'm kind of like, right, I'm lost now. I can't remember how we get down. So we took the walkway up, but let's go down on the escalator this time. Again, you know, nice to see daft things like that with the seating area. And again, the sign, all the languages as it were. That's a proper map of the northern network, not just the this particular route. And we've got some passengers ready. And see a little bit of a narrow walkway here. Yeah, we're in. So lock the doors, it says. So get the master key on again. Get cells set up into forward, and then right, so we do have the green signal ready, but we'll try and make sure we get this done right first.
TPWS and AWS operational.
Get the right headlights, I think marker I would suggest again. There we go, it should be just about ready to depart. Another plane landing. I think I've commented before, but just a shame at the moment that they don't seem to be landing on the runway. Just one of those daft little things that I'd like to see kind of done accurately. So we've got the spur that we've just seen. We've just gone past on our left, which would take us on the tram link to Manchester Victoria. And I think you could drive, not obviously with a tram because we haven't got a Manchester tram in the game, but I think you can at least go a few yards on that. That would be a nice little DLC to have, wouldn't it, if we could do the full tram route into Victoria. I'd love to see the Manchester tram network done in some ways, and we see what's possible with the that city tram link thing, which I have to confess, if that was a real city and kind of combining the idea of having buses and trams, I would have bought it by now, but I don't know, the fact that it's not a real city just doesn't quite work for me. I like the Vienna with Transim. That was excellent.
Overspeed. Contact the signaller. Overspeed.
I didn't hear that go off. I think I've got my headsets on a bit low.
Overspeed. Contact
Wait for the train
signaller.
to come 60 seconds or something.
Overspeed. Contact the signaller. Overspeed. Contact the signaller.
Was that the speed? Or was it because of the 40? Was that the issue?
Overspeed. Contact the signaller. Overspeed. Contact the signaller. Overspeed. TPWS and AWS operational.
Pressing the overspeed button on the TPWS control. Well, I've not done that, have I? Didn't even know there was such a thing. There it is, it's lit up. Right, it's gone out now, must have had enough brakes on. Never done that before. At least it works. It's good to see that it works. I must have been, clearly I was going too fast for the 40. I was trying to be really good as well and keep to these speed limits. Right, so I saw the sign there for the neutral section, and you can see the magnets here which indicate the where the neutral section is. That little gap in the power supply line. So now that we have this section, it'd be perfectly possible to kind of do one of those Train Sim World, Train Sim Classic combinations to do a full run. I'd probably, if I did it, I'd probably do, at least to begin with, the airport to Carlisle, I think, because that way we could kind of do to Piccadilly on this route. We could do the ATS Chatmoss route, then the missing link one to Preston, and then kind of do Preston Carlisle with TSW again. Now, it's slightly cheating because in reality I think the services normally would go via Bolton, and we don't have that. But I'm guessing that there will have been diverted services, perhaps if the Bolton line was closed. And I'm sure it must happen now and again where they go on the Chatmoss line instead. It's just nice, these kind of shortish runs. You know, it's lovely to do very, very long runs, and the realism and everything else is, you know, it's fantastic to do long runs, but it's also nice when you just haven't got absolutely hours and hours. You just feel like chilling out and doing a quick run on Manchester Airport Commuter. And even a bit of fun just changing cabs, getting in the train again, taking it back up the other way. Certainly plenty of 323s in action. So as I'm recording this, I'm recording on the Saturday, and if you're watching the premiere, you're watching on the Sunday. So the plan will be, we've got the Class 86 coming out on the Tuesday from Just Trains with because it's not just the 86, it's the Class Mark, the Mark 2F coaches. So you kind of got the first class. The second class, you've got the BSO as well, and the Mark 1 RMB buffet car. So I'm planning on doing a stream hopefully on the day it comes out, so it'll probably just be one run from Preston to Carlisle, because it's quite a run in its own right, really. Have a quick look at the train. You've probably seen it actually if you watch the both the Just Trains preview and the official DTG run as well. And again, will the 86 be used by Just Trains in their next route release? Well, we'll probably find out with the August TSW5 announcements, I'm guessing. I don't think the Just Trains route will come out on day one, but judging by previous years, it's tended to be about November time, October, November, something like that. But you're always guaranteed it's going to be a route of great quality. And then we are going to be live at 5 o'clock next Sunday, after missing out this week because of the tennis. So here we are, back onto the West Coast Main Line proper at Slade Lane Junction. I think I've said loads of times on the streams, but I love driving old units and the challenges and the differences with old units, but I quite like the new stuff as well. And always be the most comfortable to sit in as a passenger, and it's something we've talked about at home quite a bit. You kind of feel as though they're like ironing board, the seats. I feel as though I've still only scratched the surface really with this particular add-on. Plenty of interest with it. I like that distant view as well. That's you get a great view from the cab of the 802. You can see quite clearly the old Woodhead style gantries mixed in with the new as well. And that's the station there. It's Ardwick, isn't it, where virtually nothing ever stops there. Shame about this, that it's a bit stuttery coming in. I did mean to actually try out the lossless descaling that I've got installed, but I forgot before I set the game up. Right, we've got double yellow, so we're okay. And I think we're signalled into the platform. Of course, we're on the platform 14. We're on the outside platform, of course, because we're going to be relieved at this point, and another driver is going to take the train on. We've got the Pride liveried Pendolino in this time. So who says scenarios can be boring? Because with a bit of effort, and thanks to Carmen for this wonderful scenario again, then you could make them really interesting. Not seen the this sudo 221 on this run. I've definitely installed it though. He said it was from Hello somebody or other. So I'm certain I've got it installed, but you might get the occasional quirks perhaps where unexpectedly it doesn't quite perform as it might have done for anybody else, or as it was originally intended, shall we say. We'll just have a quick look around Manchester Piccadilly before we depart. Again, even seen that's excellent as well, isn't it? I'm sure many people have taken a taxi out of Piccadilly, and that's the taxi area. These are the two through platforms, so there's the Pride train Pendolino in situ, 323 just departing the station. We've got another Pendolino in situ as well, and I think that's mainly it, isn't it? Okay, well that's where we'll leave it. Hope you've enjoyed that. And again, another lovely scenario from the Creators Club. And thank you very much for watching. And again, if you've liked the video and you want to like and subscribe, then I would be tremendously appreciated. Your support, as ever, really, really grateful for that. And it just encourages me to carry on, really, and it's good to engage in the chat as well. So sorry not able to do that today, but we're probably midway through the probably the end of the first set, I would imagine, of the men's singles final between Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. So you might be watching or have watched that yourself, and you're watching this video at another point. But thank you very much for watching, and there's a possibility I might have another video for you on this Sunday evening, but I'll see if I get a chance to record that on the Saturday first of all. But for now, from Powerflower, Trains and Planes, thanks for watching. It's goodbye.